just wanted to let you know that this video is two parts. The first part, I'm going to show you how to play in the key of B, a single guitar that could kind of cover everything. So it's designed to be, what if you're the only guitar player? This could be an option for you to play this part and should cover your basses. Then the second part of this video, I'm going to detail for you how I dialed in the tones for this song. So just to give you some backstory, this song is using my all-in-one Quad Cortex preset as a starting point. You can buy that at thetoneshepherd.com. But then I've tweaked it to fit this song. And so the second part of the video details all the tweaks that I did, starting with that template, but making it unique for this song. So I hope that part will be helpful for you in dialing in tones for this song. Whether you have a Quad Cortex or not, may just give you some clues as to how and why I did what I did to get the result I did. If you enjoy it at all, I hope you do, and I do hope that this tutorial just blesses you and helps you prepare to lead this song at your church. It's amazing. It's Psalm 23. It needs to be on our lips. And again, I hope it blesses you. Hope it blesses your congregation. Enjoy. Right, so welcome to the tone breakdown for good plans. I'm going to walk you through my Quad Cortex preset, show you all my settings for all the different parts. Just an overview of this song in general. Key of B, obviously, as you just saw, capo 2, and so I'm utilizing some open strings around that positioning. That's the reason why I did that. So if you choose to do this song in that key, it lowers it for a male, makes it a little bit more singable for your congregation. Those of you who do it in B, this will benefit you, but the tones will apply whatever key you're playing it in. So if you're here just for the tones, then that's fine as well. So let me just walk you through part by part. Again, this is using my bass Quad Cortex preset. So if you go to thetoneshepherd.com, look up the Quad Cortex resources, you'll see my sort of template all-in-one Tone Shepherd preset. That has all these captures, all these pieces. It'll look just like this. But then what I do when I'm programming a song is I will take that template, copy and paste it, set the BPM correctly, and then adjust all the parameters just by ear. So I don't necessarily use my template as sort of I don't use all the scenes in my template just on any given song. I will tweak each and every scene per part per song, so individually, and that's what this rundown is going to show you. So the first tone I'm going to show you really covers the intro through chorus 1, and it sounds like this using my neck pickup. That's a part you can start with finger picking and then move to an actual pick, and it changes the tone of it a little bit. I utilize that technique in this song. So let me walk you through the pieces to this. So I'm using the Jewel comp. I always do. These settings haven't really changed from stock any, I don't believe. This I don't really do anything with unless I'm using a different guitar, or if I want a really specific part tone, if I'm using something, if I want to like really cut the low end for some particular thing. But I don't think I have any of that going on this song, so won't come back to those two. But this was always on just in case you need it. You can take it off if you have this and you want to put in something else and you want to save some DSP. You can take this off if you want, and you can take some of these overdrive blocks off. Anyway, that's all up to you. I don't have an octave going on. I don't have any overdrive for that part. My bass tone, just the amps themselves, are slightly dirty. So at least with this guitar, you can tell that they're breaking up pretty good if you dig in. But if you back off, like in this case, you can get it clean, but then if you drive it a little bit, that's where you start to get that edge of breakup feel. Anyway, so no overdrive on for this intro through chorus 1 section, no modulation on, don't have a chorus effect, don't have tremolo, don't have vibrato. I'm running a tape delay at dotted 8th note setting. You can screen grab any of these, so pause the video, screen capture, and copy these settings if you want. This is the first reverb block. Looks like that. Pay attention to the high pass and low pass. I use these a lot, and they can be helpful in crafting your tone. So I have a very, very warm reverb going on. It's much, much warmer than I normally use, but this part just kind of demanded it. So I have one reverb block, which is the modulated type before the amps, and then I have another reverb block after the amps, also the modulated type. I'm just a fan of that. That's what I chose. You can do something else if you want. But again, have the low pass pretty shelved here. So these are both pretty aggressive low passes to warm up that delay sound. That reverb sound. So those are those settings. These are my amp settings. I have not changed them for this song, so these are stock amp settings, but I use the AC30 Capture V2 number 4, so it's actually a higher gain stage, a little bit, but it's still, with this guitar and all, it's still pretty clean. And then ProSonic V2, the 3 Capture, so they're a little bit different, but they balance well together, and these are a part of my stock preset. Anyway, so that's that. And then to talk about this last EQ block, again, this is more to take care of issues. You could also use, I have the output assigned to scenes just in case you want to use this final output as a boost. If you just want to increase, you don't want to boost your amps, you don't want your amps any dirtier, you just want a particular scene louder. It's also always nice to have a, you know, an EQ or something here so that you can boost that output if you need to, you know, just for a lead part if necessary. Not sure if it's in here, it might be. Anyway, that's the intro through chorus 1. Let's move on. This would be verse 2, and that's this fun little part here. And then the second half of that goes to the bridge pickup. So you can tell there's more going on there. Same, you know, compressor and reverb. Same compressor and EQ, so I'm not going to show you that. Using the daily driver with these settings, pretty flat. So everything's at 0. The volume is at -3. That might actually be stock, but got that going on. And then got a fun tremolo happening. So a medium depth 16th note tremolo. And then all these other settings are stock to my template. So that's that tremolo. Then I've got a dotted 8th note delay. Again, the high pass, so I should say the low pass is aggressive. And then reverb, first reverb block here. Again, pretty warm. Second reverb block, again, pretty warm. So that's verse 2. Let's go to chorus 1, which is this part. So as you could probably hear right away, I do have an octave on there, so more sub than the high octave, but I do have a tiny bit of high octave in there to add just a little sparkle. I have my daily driver capture on, a little bit less treble though, took that off, and the volume increased a little bit. See, my first one was -3, and then the chorus is -2, so it got a little louder, but also just took care of a little bit of the high end. Typically, I'll sometimes reach for that if I'm higher up on the neck, or using the higher strings and it's sounding a little too shrill to me. I'll just take the treble down on an overdrive capture instead of doing something with like the EQ blocks. So I'll try to just take care of that per scene on the capture, and that seems to work well for me. So got that going on. I do have a, the Chief DC2W is, you know, the Boss Dimension Wazacraft thing. I love that pedal. I have the analog version of that and really love that. So I use that in my template. But in the modes section is pretty powerful. So I have it on the 1+2 setting in this instance, 100% mix. Everything else I think is stock to my template. And then tape delay, dotted 8th, these settings. I don't have any ping pong on, by the way. I'll let you know if I ever do. But then got 2 reverb blocks on. Again, I think pretty similar settings as to what I had. Might all be the same. You know, this part might have just modified that slightly, and it might have modified that slightly, and it added that. But that's that sound for chorus 1. So let's look at what's next. So then I have the interlude through bridge 1, and now we start to get to that heavier part in the song. And this is where, since I'm the only guitar player on this particular demo in this instance, I'm trying to let that open A string ring out to get a little bit more beef. So I have the octave block on, a bit higher, higher octave up and octave down. So those are those settings. Using my Benson preamp capture, almost stock. Looks like I took a little bit of that high end down. I think it was because as I was dialing in tones for Good Plans in particular, this whole song was feeling a little bit warmer to me. Now, I will give one caveat. When you're trying to dial in tones for the tracks, your live band might not sound like that. So you don't always have to attempt to EQ your guitar exactly to those tracks, because that mixer on that album and their mastering and on and on and on had a particular sound. Your band has a particular sound. If you're going to really nitpick and dial in like EQ and tones for your band, the best thing to do would actually be to get your own multi-track recording of your band and like mixed to the way you guys want it to be mixed, and then kind of dial your tones in around that. But you can always start by copying the master recording, and that'll always be a good starting point no matter what. So anyway, side note, little tip for you there. So using the Benson preamp, using the that chorus block again, I never changed that, but these settings have changed. So now I have a 50% mix on the 1+4 setting. Tape delay, I changed the subdivision to an 1/8 note, and everything else looks almost the same. Might be the same. And then first reverb block, those settings. Second reverb block, those settings. And then nothing changed on the output or anything for that part. All right, so those are the tones for that section. Then bridge 2, basically I said bridge 2 plus, meaning an octave up. So when I kind of divided this, the second bridge up into 2 different sections just for fun, just because I wanted to, add something tonally that was different. But he plays this part. And then I wanted the option, like I could just stay there for that whole bridge, or I kick on my other block and then go higher. And that block is essentially the same, except it has a lower octave instead of a higher octave. So if I'm on the bridge 2 plus, that just adds, that higher. I'll show you. Adds a much higher, level of that higher octave. And if I go to this one, you can see I added this. The higher octave is still there, but I added a lot more sub. Other than that, I'm pretty sure they're the same, tones otherwise. So this has the focus fuzz, and yeah, the focus fuzz are the same settings for both bridge sections. And then the chorus block is the same for both sections. And then the tape delay, yeah, same for both sections. So they're really just a copy and paste of each other minus the octave thing going on. So those are the tape delay settings. 1/8 note delay, a little bit higher mix. And then reverb blocks look like this. Here's the first reverb block. Still a very warm reverb through the whole song. Just felt like this song wanted to be warmer. But that will change on our next patch. So anyway, that's the reverb after. Screen grab that. Let's move on to the last tone, which would be chorus 3 and beyond. So this is where it jumps back into the chorus after the bridge. So all that business there, I took the octave block off. I just wanted something a little bit more clearer, and I also took the chorus block off. Sometimes the chorus block can make your guitar a little less focused, like a little too wide. Sometimes you want your guitar to be narrow, and I just felt like I wanted a little bit more clarity out of the guitar at this part, and so I took the chorus block off and even the octave block off. And then I added my Aspen Secret Capture, which is a blend of the Case Study Aspen and the Chase Tone Secret Preamp. They're captured together. And those are those settings. So look at this treble setting, -6. For whatever reason, you know, this particular capture at this part, I just felt like was way too bright. So treble's all the way down at 6, and it still sounds clear. But play around with that to taste. If your guitar's a little bit warmer, maybe you can afford to turn that up. But that's what I did for that part. Then, again, tape delay is there. Reverb is there. First reverb block. Second reverb block. So this part goes all the way through all those other things. So I do this on it. That was another reason why I didn't add an octave block, because I knew I wanted to come back to that part and I was going to play octaves like physically on the guitar, so I didn't want to have an effect to do that. And then at the end I add my own. I had a little bit of fun with that at the end there. But all that is that same tone. So basically from that chorus after the bridge on, it's all the same tone. So yeah, that's the tone. And I did create like a swell patch, but that's not part of the song. If I have an open block, I'll often just program something in. And I'll play with those dual delays just because I think it adds a ton of width. So I did add the ping pong on at those parts. I think just on that first delay. Oh, they're both on. Yeah, it's that super wide. Just fun. So that was cool. 8th note for that tape delay, and then the first delay is a dotted 8th note. So dotted 8th going into an 8th. Sometimes I'll switch that order. Just what I was having fun with at the time. Actually, can I go back 1 second? I just wanted to look at this. Did I do anything? So for example, this, meant to mention, this chorus 3 plus setting, this one right here, does have just a 0.5 dB boost on the output. Again, that's not very much, but it just helped that part jump a little bit more. You could make that more or less, depending on your rig and what you wanted to accomplish. But those are the tones for good plans. Again, if you want to purchase this preset, you can purchase it at thetoneshepherd.com. Again, I don't have song-specific presets for sale, but I have one master template that you can buy that you can then apply these settings to, and then, you know, use that template to design your own presets for your own songs. So I just hope this is a great resource for you. Hopefully it was helpful in learning how to approach tone for this song and just in general. And really my heart is for you to have these tools so that you can approach Sunday morning with confidence and with an ease and comfortability in the music side, so that you can connect with the Lord, you can connect with the people that you're ministering to, you can connect with your team, and all those things. So again, hope this blessed you, but until I see you in the next video, be blessed.